Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. Today, we have a Tier 10 battle here on the Fisherman's Bay map, starring STAGGR in the T100LT. STAGGR has been having a really rough time trying to earn marks of excellence on his medium tanks. Just think about this for a second. He's been having such a hard time in his mediums that he's thought, screw this, I'm going back to playing light tanks. Because it's easier. Now initially, looking at the matchmaker here, you might think, oh actually this isn't too bad, there's no armoured cars, so the light tank driver actually has a chance. Look at all of the mediums in play here. There are 8 mediums in play per side, as STAGGR rushes up to the middle here in order to try to get some initial spots off, and is almost beaten to it by some of those enemy mediums. In fact, effectively he is. And he managed to get to the aggressive early spotting position on the enemy's side of the ridge here, but was quickly forced back by the presence of some of those leopards. And just take a look at all of those enemy mediums. I mean, there's 8 of them for a start. And they're all either leopards, with one exception, or extremely nasty Soviet Tier 10 mediums as well. All of them machines with very quick aiming and accurate guns. The kind of machines that make life really dangerous for light tank drivers. And of course, STAGGR is the only light tank on the team. The enemy team also have a T100LT. So there's a huge weight of responsibility on his shoulders here to not suck, to get that spot advantage. And in order to do that, he's going to have to play an extremely dangerous game against all of these enemy mediums. The leopards, the objects, all tanks that are easily capable of snapshotting him if he gets spotted, and remains spotted for more than a second. He probably wishes he was in an EBR.
6 shots.
But the spot and damage is already piling up. He's already done 1,500. Notice how his head is on an absolute swivel here, constantly checking around him. If he gets spotted here for even a fraction of a second, he's doomed. Especially if he gets tracked, because, you know, he's not in an armoured car. If he gets tracked, he stops. He doesn't just slow down by 5 kilometers per hour. Oh, that's looking really bad over there. That's looking really bad indeed. Not a lot he can do about it. I mean, he does have a 100mm gun, and if he gets the opportunity to take a shot safely, he's going to do it. But you don't stick around waiting for 6th sense to go off under these circumstances. You just assume that every time you take a shot, you're going to get spotted and you react accordingly. There is an extremely strong push by the enemy mediums, and their scout, the T100LT, oh, there's just too much going on here to worry about. Can somebody please kill this guy? Alright, no, okay, take the shot, duck into cover. Obviously got spotted there, and didn't wait long enough to go undetected before sticking his arse out again, and pays for it big time. Instantly burns the repair kit, gets the tracks back up, and gets his ass out of there. If he'd been in an armoured car, of course, he wouldn't need to use the repair kit, because the only thing that would have happened would it would have slowed down by 5 kilometers per hour. Now, most other players, myself included, after receiving a spanking like that, would have thought, right, yep, that's it, I can take a hit, I'm getting out of here. But he's still the only scout on the team. He's up to 2,000 spotting damage now, and he's actually done 1,500 damage of his own. And the team do still need his scouting services, although perhaps not up here in the middle of the map, where there are more than enough medium tanks to cover that responsibility themselves. And it's kind of over here, where the 2 lone defending mediums could probably use a little bit of a helping hand. Easier said than done, of course. I mean, this is basically one big open field, with some opportunities to get closer by taking advantage of features like the rock here in the middle and the limited amount of bushes in order to get close. But it's still a lot of open ground to cover, and if any one of those enemy mediums decides to crest the ridge at the wrong time, and you only have 400 health, maybe you don't need to get right up there. Don't forget, the friendly mediums on the ridge line are definitely going to be looking for opportunities to do things like that. And if you get any closer, particularly if you get right up to the ridge line with the enemy mediums on the other side, maybe get to within 50 meters of an enemy tank right on the other side of the ridge. You'll spot him, but he'll spot you back. And while it certainly looks like the friendly mediums, the Lion, the Centurion and the STB have the ridge at the middle of the map, all it takes is one unspotted enemy medium to utterly ruin your day. So why take the risk? There's no reason to move any further forward than this. He's spotting them from here. In fact, he's already up to over 4,000 spotting damage. Oh, hello, Mr. Leopard. Team, there we go. Nearly 5,000 spotting damage. Right. It's important to know when you've outstayed your welcome, when you're spotting in a light tank. Well, when you're spotting in anything, but Staggers in a light tank. And while the threat over here hasn't been completely eliminated, I think it's safe to say it's been largely contained. Because after the spanking received by anybody attempting to stick their noses out over that ridge from the 4 mediums on the other side of the field, lying in wait for them to do exactly that, I think we can probably safely assume that the survivors aren't in any great rush to try to experience the same fate as that very unlucky Leopard. So Rugger's going to relocate, because the 3 mediums that were holding the middle are now 2 mediums holding the middle. They've basically been getting into a fair fight with the enemy mediums and tank destroyers, engaging them from the opposite side. And you don't want to be getting into a fair fight if you can possibly avoid it. You want to be doing everything you can to ensure that the enemy are experiencing as unfair a fight as possible. Only a sucker gets into a fair fight. So, back at the spot in the middle. And a friendly Leopard has joined them to replace the Centurion that got knocked out. From here you can also keep an eye on the opposite ridge, just in case any of those mediums, like that Leopard, get sick and tired of being cock-blocked up at the other end and try their luck shooting into the middle. Oh, enemy scout spotted. Killed him. Huge win. No risk whatsoever. Safely far enough behind a bush, as he's doing again here. I mean, these are basics. If you can see through the bush, they can see you. If you pull back far enough that the bush becomes opaque, you won't be seen shooting through the bush. Notice what he's doing here. His map awareness is absolutely superb. See the friendlies moving around from the north. They're going to want things to shoot at. Let's go and find things for them to shoot at. Can take the shot quite safely there. Double, maybe even triple bushed. Going to be risky here, of course, but we'll stop, we'll wait. He needs to make sure there are no enemy tanks on his left. And there's plenty of friendlies sweeping around who would be only too happy to kill anything detected down there, but there is nothing, so those enemy mediums have fallen back. Which makes sense. I mean, when you're losing as heavily as this, the enemy team are outnumbered 8 kills to 4. It makes sense to pull back and consolidate your... Oh, he took a hit. That was one of the Leopards. And he took it on the turret. And of course it's a Russian turret, so no problem, comrade. Yeah, 420 potential damage there, and he only has 435 health left. You probably don't want to get hit by the Death Star's 183mm gun over there, but with 435 health, and bearing in mind the Leopard's 105mm gun can do more than 420 damage, you probably don't want to get hit by the Leopards, or the objects either. You really don't want to get hit by anybody, if you could possibly avoid it. And again, most people might take the hint and chill out. There it is. But not Stagger. Well, I suppose you could argue he now has exactly 41 more health than he needs. And, I mean, there's very little chance that the team are going to lose this battle. There's now only 2 enemies left. So, what the hell. Chicks dig scars, glory lasts forever. Let's see if he can, if not get more spot damage, and maybe get a kill. Although there's only 244 health remaining between the 2 surviving enemy tanks, so he's not going to get that much more spot damage, but maybe a kill. Yeah, there we go. Well, it was on the table. It would be a shame to leave it. And honestly, I think we can all probably agree he definitely earned that kill. Stagger there in the T100 LT, giving the legendary Auroric 78 some competition as a light tank driver. Unsurprisingly, an ace tanker. Equally unsurprisingly, given the amount of spotting damage he did, a patrol duty medal. Base experience earned, more than 1400. 600 more than the next best players, and the only member of the team to get over 1,000. Enemy team utterly crushed there, and mostly down to his spotting, with almost 10,000 spotting damage done, with an extremely respectable nearly 4,300 damage done of his own. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, STAGGR in the T100 LT, because playing mediums was too hard. Seriously, man, light tank drivers in World of Tanks, they're just a different breed entirely. Hope you all enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll catch you next time.